Hello, welcome to a new video, and today we will be focusing on rendering, and I will be showing you live my process, also a mix of some time lapses. I will also be reviewing this new tablet that I got sent by Pablo, so here is the unboxing. Alright, so this box looks very fancy, it's very aesthetic. So this tablet is called the Intangbo X7. So here's the actual tablet. I love this mint blue color. And it even comes with, oh my gosh, an instruction manual. And it comes with stickers. Amazing. So we also got a microfiber cloth and this glove. Then here's the pen. It's chunky. It also has this little pen holder, spare nibs, a USB cord, and then I think this is for Bluetooth, but I don't know how to use it. This wheel is fun because it can zoom in and zoom out. Anyways, I'm gonna be using this tablet to draw, and I will let you know my thoughts at the end of the video. I'm gonna tweak some things about the sketch, and by tweak I mean change a lot of things, because I'm feeling a new idea. Okay, so here is the new sketch. So I got like this sun moon thing, and then I got some castles and some clouds, and we got some fashion icon in the center here. So this is a pretty messy sketch, but that's gonna be okay because we can refine it later. So now I'm going to fill in the base colors. So I didn't know what color to make this spherical object, so I realized if I didn't know the color, I can just choose rainbow, because that's like the best color, which I actually think rainbow is not a color, it's multiple colors. But and here, when I'm kind of blending it out, I'm using a smaller brush and I'm kind of coloring it in like I'm using colored pencil, and I'm kind of being really loose with it, and it gives it that texture, the whimsy texture. The more I want to blend it out, the further I put scribbles, and immediately this is the best drawing I've ever made, because there's a rainbow in it. You can also color pick the in-between colors and then start blending more like that. Yeah. I don't feel like drawing shoes, so he's gonna be barefoot. Okay, it's nothing weird, okay? Okay, so I think this is pretty much all the base colors. So I wanted to use a lot of contrast in this piece, especially with this really bright white color to make this main subject stand out. Now I kind of feel like this top half of the drawing is suffocating, so I'm gonna leave some space for it. I'm making space for it. Oh, a tip for adjusting: if you have, colors and you don't want the white spots appearing when you move it like that, you can just copy and paste the layer, and then when you edit it, no white spots. You still have to tweak it a little bit, but yeah, it's easier. It's easier. So let's get into the main topic of this video, which is rendering. Yeah, I'm really excited about this, as you can hear in my voice. Okay, so I do want to take a lot of artistic liberties with the lighting in this scene, because as you can see, the colors are very vibrant and they're crazy. I'm gonna start shading the skin first. And in order to do so, I will have to think about the lighting situation. So let's imagine this is a sphere in this environment. Okay, well, realistically speaking, this color would probably be closer to this because of the reflection from all these bright reds. That's what it would look like realistically. But for this creative liberty, I want it to be this basically white, because it's gonna make it pop out so much, especially against this pure black. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make the shadows this blue color. And you know, it does make sense because these cloud things are blue. So that's gonna reflect and make it look blue. Now, if you were drawing a character with, let's say, melanin. Okay, so let me just explain lighting real quick. So, basically, you have your ball, right? Okay, you have your flesh ball, and this is gonna be actually the color of the shadows. Let's say you're in a room and there's no lighting, it's just dark. That's what it's gonna look like. And let's say the room is pink. So the pink is gonna reflect onto the flesh ball and the colors are gonna mix. So it's gonna be like this in-between color right here. Okay, so let's say that's the shadow. And then you're gonna have a light source. And the light source is gonna have a color too. So let's say the light source is yellow. The yellow is gonna mix with the base color, and that's basically how it is. The colors are mixing because of the environment and the colors of the lighting. Now there is things such as bounce lighting and forgot what everything is called, but you know, if we run into these lighting fundamental words, you know, we should talk about them. We should have that conversation. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna start on this new layer because it's kind of like working in oil paint where you wait for the first layer to dry and then you work on your second layer. Because also, you know, if I do something like this and then I'm like, wait, it actually looks better than before, I'll just fix it. Okay, so let me describe to you how I render the face. Oh, also it's important to recognize where your light source is coming from. I want this light source to be coming from like here. When I color the face, I'm thinking about the planes of the face. So this is a very important fundamental of art, which is the 3D planes of any object. So I actually found this really good example of some simplified planes of the face. It's by Shape Foundations. The reason why you want to know how the face can be simplified is that so you know how the light is hitting each of these planes. So you can see each section here is a plane, and you can see the lighting is coming from the right. And how you know what is being lit and what is being dark is the direction the plane is facing. So you can see this forehead is facing the light, and this cheek area is also facing the light. But you know, this whole side of the face, it's facing perpendicular. And then especially under this chin here, there's kind of no space for the light to reach it. You know, it's a very sad, dark, depressed area, neglected by the light. Learning this is also really good for 2D art because there's still a lot of ways you can use the fundamental shapes in order to stylize your drawing and stuff like that. So I recommend you can also just do some like color studies or shading studies in black and white and then focus on seeing the planes of the head and then simplifying it in a way where your brain can understand it. And as you get more and more detailed, those planes are gonna become more complex and smaller and detailed. Okay, so now that we talked about planes of the face and we know that the light is hitting from atop, I'm kind of confused because this is a weird angle. Okay, I don't usually shade this type of angle and stuff. Okay, I hate that blue. Okay, let me find a good blue. Also, a lot of the process is just trial and error, so don't be afraid. Just go for it and then keep trying until you land on somewhere where it looks good. So this whole forehead area is facing away from the light. So it's all gonna be in shadow. And then this eyelid too. But there's this whole top section of the eyebrow bone. It's created from, you know, the eyebrow ridge of the skeleton, the sans undertale skull. This is kind of sans undertale colors, actually. Now this is just gonna be a very rough pass. So I'm kind of just feeling out, you know, where to put my colors, and we're just seeing how it goes. We're just going. Anyways, now I'm seeing the forms start to come to life because I know where the main shapes are. So even if you just block it out really messily, it's gonna start forming a coherent shape. You're gonna start seeing the form when you start forming it. It's kind of like, it's like clay. Yeah, it's like clay. Guys, I'm hungry. Hold on, I'm gonna eat food. Okay, let's keep on coloring. I'm gonna make the pinky out so that the hand is more dainty. So here's a very kind of concave part, which is gonna be the palm of the hand. It's facing the face, so no light is getting through. But actually, let's talk about reflective light for a second, because the light is hitting the face a bit, and that's gonna reflect off into the hand. So that's gonna kind of make this dark spot lighter. Also, I like exaggerating a lot of these reflective effects because when you're rendering, there's a lot of rendering styles, and to me, I think about it like different materials. I really like rendering styles that look like crystals, like everything is just made out of crystals, which is why I like to exaggerate all the glowing and stuff. Also, one thing I've been doing recently is kind of making the area around where the hair meets the face lighter, because then it gives it a glowing effect like this. Also, always make sure you're zooming out, you're flipping, you're rotating to get different perspectives of your art, because it helps you find mistakes better like that. And while I am blocking in the colors, I'm kind of just seeing where I can refine these shapes. Obviously, the neatness level depends on what you prefer. I'm just seeing what harsh rim lighting would look like, and I think it looks bad, actually, so I'm just gonna delete that. Okay, so now we've blocked in the shadows of the skin. Here we can see the progress we've made. So yeah, pretty cool. So usually I'll also use a multiply layer to add colors and, you know, maybe add some darker shadows too. So for example, if this character had blush, which he doesn't really because he's a vampire, I'm gonna take like a warm muted gray. I'm just gonna very lightly apply it. Lightly apply the blush. And then I really like accentuating the dark. Oh, it's a little too dark. Actually, it's fine. Because I like when they look like they're dying. So yeah, now you have some sleigh makeup. You can also use this color to add more definition. Here's the other eye socket. Again, it's being covered by this hand. Another lighting trick to learn is, I forgot the name, okay? But basically when things are in close contact with each other, it's gonna be darker. Like if you put your fingertips together, you can see like where they meet, there's a dark line. And it's just the same principle of like the light can't reach this really dark crevice. Okay, crevice, okay? Oh my god, guys. I'm a terrible father. I forgot his arched nose. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, please comment them and I will do my best to answer. There's actually this really good book that I've learned from called Color and Light by this guy, and I will link it down below. But yeah, honestly, with art, just do what you want to do. There's fundamentals, there's lighting, rules and stuff, but obviously art is about breaking those rules and finding creative ways to bend them. But if I were to shade this more, I will demonstrate how it would look like. Just like with the face, you also want to simplify the body. So all you gotta do is think about it in basic shapes, just so you can see the planes and where they're facing. So this is kind of the torso shape, and since the light is coming from here, you know, everything facing away is gonna be in shadow. And it's the same thing with the arms. This is like a cylinder shape, and with cylinders, it's rounder, but you can still add a defined shadow. So if you're struggling with figuring out where all the shadows go, try simplifying it into basic 3D shapes and think about where the light is hitting those shapes. And of course, you can always use reference. And then when you look at the reference, you'll also notice these basic shapes that you can instill in your brain. Put it in your visual library. I also like adding some lines back in. You can make the lines different colors too. Maybe over here it's gonna be blue. Here I want it to be black. So this is a fur material, so it's a little more complicated, but still the same principle of it being in a basic shape. But you can kind of think about it like there's a bunch of tiny cones. Yeah, like cones like that coming out of it. But for this kind of texture, kind of just use some loose strokes and just use straight strokes, you know. I'm sorry, I know I just said the S word. Also, if you have any complicated patterns on the clothes, you can just add it on top later with the multiply tool like this. Add multiply layer, and then we can add the pattern back in, because clothing can have a lot of wrinkles and stuff, and it can be difficult to add the patterns on top manually. So we can cheat because we're digital artists. Also, for rendering different materials, you just kind of think about the reflectiveness of it. If something is super matte, it's not gonna reflect much light. It's gonna be super simple like that. But if it's metallic, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be frank. I kind of just add like random dark spots and then it looks metallic. That's so metallic. There's just one detailed ball on there. I'm not gonna render any of the other balls. Also, for choosing darker colors for the shadows, can I just use the base shadow and then I go diagonally down so that it gets more saturated as you go down. And that looks good to me, so that's why I do it. For the hair, I'm gonna be using smaller brush and I'm gonna be adding smaller defined strands. Hair is also very confusing, but to me, I kind of think about it as a bunch of flat planes. Kind of like ribbons, pieces of paper folding over each other. Well, for this hair, I'm kind of just thinking of it like a fluffy bush. And then you always want to remember if the different materials are interacting with each other, like this piece of cloud is gonna be overlapping the hair. Okay, also a little tip, something I do is I kind of just add like a shadow under each knuckle, and then it kind of just works. Like, boom. Also, I'm just using one brush for this. I don't really use a lot of brushes. Oh, also, I have this special setting on my brush that makes each stroke a different color, and it just gives some nice color variation. So you would just go to the settings, the wrenches, oh, and then where it says color jitter, just a little bit up, and then add some color variation, kind of subtle, pretty subtle, but I like the subtle colors. Yeah, I did say that I'd like my art to look more crystally, but I actually have no idea how people make their art look like that. But this is giving more... it's giving matte. It's giving matte. But that's okay. I still like it. So here I'm trying to incorporate the red from up here, down here, just to have more balance. Now for rendering these clouds, I'm kind of just thinking about it like little clumps. See here, the contact with the boot tag. It's gonna cause some darkness. I'm just darkening all those contact points. I also like putting these more saturated colors kind of in like these crevices, because I feel like it makes it pop more, you know? I'm also adding these random color variations everywhere because I want these clouds to be colorful. Okay, this foot needs some serious help. So when I want to add details to dark areas, something that I like doing is taking a light color, let's do like a gray, and then kind of just going in, adding that detail. And that's just a stylistic choice. So I like adding swirls to the hair, and then we can add details to like the gloves, some, I don't know, straps, some strappy straps. Also, I don't have the patience to render out really tiny details, so a lot of the time I kind of just add scribbles to imply detail. Like here, I can just add a few dots, and it kind of looks like it's shiny. Yeah, it depends on what level of detail you prefer. So actually, I kind of want to change the color of this blue and I want it to be lighter. So I'm gonna try this overlay layer, see what I can do. Okay, so I like this lighter color, so I'm gonna go with it. Now this area, it looks kind of messy now, so I'm gonna try to rein it in. This reminds me of a giant jawbreaker. I'm also gonna add some sparkles. Sparkles are very important. I lied. I actually don't like them. Okay, I think we are almost done, but I'm gonna see how it looks like with the tone curve technique, which is basically, if you didn't see my last video, my last art video, you go to the tone curve setting in the edit tab, and then you just make like wiggly lines. And yeah, I'm not sure if it'll work because this piece already has so many colors going on. And you know, it gets to a point where less is more. So let me try pin light. Yeah, I think it's gonna be better without. But if you want to spice up your drawing, you can try doing that. I'm tired. Okay, let's see what texture looks like. I like it. It's here to stay. Okay. I think I'm sick of this drawing now. So let's get to the review of this tablet. So overall, I felt like it was pretty solid. I didn't run into any issues except when I tried clicking on some of the tabs on the top and for some reason it was a bit finicky, but I don't know if that's like an issue that you could fix easily. But I will note that, you know, after a while of drawing, I think the way that the pen is so thick, it's so dummy thick, okay, it started cramping up my hand. So I'm not a big fan of the pen, and also this is just one drawing, so I can't speak to the longevity of this tablet. I don't know how reliable this tablet is, but I would say a good comparison to this tablet is my Wacom Intuos, which I've had for at least 5 years, so a really long time, and I really had no issues with it besides needing to replace the cable. Usually this tablet retails for $80 and the Intangbo retails for $60, so it is a bit cheaper. But I actually looked up a listing and the newer Wacom Intuos is actually even cheaper than the Intang. How do you say this word? I can't say it. I'm just gonna avoid saying it. And I also saw like a lot of other alternative budget tablet options. So you really just compare to see which tablet you like if you're choosing. But I think the real question we're all wondering here is whether or not this tablet can play rhythm games. Alright, so it actually plays Osu pretty well. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts on the tablet. I'm just gonna give it to my friend because, you know, I already have 2 tablets. One of them is for Osu. Okay, well, we finished the drawing. I'm so proud of you for sticking around. I'm sorry if there was like misinfo in this video. You know, I'm not a super expert at lighting and all that science stuff. And honestly, I feel like this drawing wasn't the best at representing my rendering process. So in the future, I'm gonna try to make a video rendering something with more depth. But yeah, I hope you liked that video, and thank you so much for watching.